Oh my goodness. So my dog decided that she had to go to the bathroom at 7 p.m. on the dot, like, right as we were about to start. Um, all right. Well, I will just say hello to everyone. I really appreciate anyone who is just kind of sitting here and waiting. It looks like Jennifer's here. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for waiting. Um, I just want to welcome you to the Animal Intuitive Show. We are here talking tonight about animals and true crime, which are my two favorite topics. So I'm so glad that, you all have joined us tonight. So welcome and don't go away. Come on, all you doggies, won't you walk with me? I'm the puppet dog. Hey there. My little intro. So Alex, let me add you here. It looks like you kind of went off the screen. Let me put you back. There she is.
Hi.
Okay. Hey. Alrighty. And
How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Just took a little run. Literally like running with the dog. Like, come on, let's go. My husband isn't here, so he couldn't take her out, and it was like urgent. Actually, it's funny because you had mentioned that your kitty changed food and was having some issues, right? Well, her food, they ran out of her food, had to change her food. Same thing. She's having like some digestive stuff going on. Yeah, it really really upset their stomachs to do that. So, poor little girl. So I know we have some people who are not in the chat but are watching. So just be aware there is a chat. If you wanna get into the chat, you click that little, I don't know how to describe it. Well, it says chat right below the screen, and that'll open up. And if you want, you can talk in the chat. Oh,
Okay.
can hear me? Okay. Not can't hear me. Okay.
But I cannot see the chat at all.
Oh, you can't see it? Okay. I don't know why that is. And I'm not
That's
sure how to
okay.
fix it. So I'll try to track it. Hi, Jen. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Take Care Polar Bear. You know what? I wonder if I could. Hi, Denise. I wonder if I could ask Jennifer a huge favor to jump in as a mod. I really didn't plan on that at all, and I'm so sorry. Would you be willing
She's
to
great.
do that? She's so nice. I'm hoping she can. We'll wait for see. We'll see if she gets back to me because it's probably on a little bit of a delay. Um, so we are here to talk tonight about true crime and animals and do some animal communication. This is Alex Erikson. Thank you, Jennifer. I don't know if that did it. I hit a star, and I'm hoping that works. I'm using like something that isn't the one you're probably used to with I think you guys tend to use StreamYard. This is a different one, so I don't know if that added you as a mod or not, but hopefully we won't really need one. But if people are asking questions and I'm missing them or something, I don't usually have people saying anything mean or nasty, but hey, you never know. Once we start talking about true crime, something takes over, so I don't know. It's possible.
No, for real.
I'm gonna see if she's a mod if I can. Let me see if I can tell. All right. So just to let everyone know, Alex has a kitty cat that I'm gonna be talking to. And no, she says she's not added. I wonder if I could do it from my phone actually. Videos.
Yeah, that's what I do. I go in from another.
You just do it. You do it on your phone.
Yeah, click on her name in the chat, and it should come up as moderator.
Okay. Oh. I think it did it. It wonders. Technology. Yeah. So part of what I wanted to talk about tonight is the state of animals kind of in true crime and how they're sort of left behind. We don't really talk about them as much, and the effect of what happens with crime and the pets that are sort of the victims too of these situations. And so I really wanted to talk about that just because it was on my mind. It was bothering me a lot, you know, just that looking at all these cases, and a few had come up more recently. So it was on my mind. And then also, I am a big fan of Alex's show. And, oh, did that still not work, Jennifer? It looks like I added you, but I don't know. Is she leaving? Oh, no, wait, there. Wait. Oh, it says you're a moderator now. Don't go away. She's like, hope you have a great live. I don't know. She's like leaving, but I think it added you if you're here. Hopefully we'll be fine anyway, even if we probably won't need it. But so feel free to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions about animal communication or the true crime stuff. I'm sure Allie's willing to answer questions as well.
Yeah.
It says you are, but there she is now. Okay. So, and Jennifer's very familiar with these kinds of things. I've seen her as a moderator on Alex's show and I think some other shows. So great. Okay. So I thought maybe we could just start though by asking you some questions, Alex, just to kind of get to know you, if you don't mind, if we could kind of welcome you in.
Fine.
Okay. So Alex, how long have you had your show, your channel, I should say?
Not long. I started on TikTok around September of last year, and I did that for a few months and I gained an audience pretty quickly there. You grow really fast. And once I got to, I think, 12,000, I reached out to someone to get an interview, and they had asked me, do you want to do like a podcast style live show with several people? Most of the people dropped out of it, and then also I started doing my own by myself, and then it's just evolved along the way. But YouTube, the first live I did was after the New Year.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So how did you kind of get into doing the true crime genre?
Well, I've always loved true crime. I mean, I'm the kind of person who, like, I sleep to forensic files when I was younger. It would always be on, like, in the late hours, and
yeah,
it would help me sleep.
Me too. Yeah.
And then I started watching, like, Nancy Grace and the HLN crew, and then after that, you know, the internet wasn't like it is now, so you didn't really have, like, these crime groups, and so really TV was it. And then after that, I spent a few years being a wild, crazy kid, and then when I calmed down a bit, I got, like, hooked on YouTube, and then it was just, like, the Chris Watts case happened, and I started searching for everybody I could find. At the time, I mean, this was when it first happened. There wasn't as many people, but now there's tons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started watching. AD actually used to have a lot of videos even back in the day, and that's kind of where, and Zab Girl.
Okay.
And then I just got obsessed, and that was it. It was a wrap.
Okay, got it. Yeah, the Chris Watts case is big, and that's probably might be where I kind of really started watching the different, other than like where you would see like, 2020 post something on YouTube. Other than that, like the kind of community that's developed. And if you're not familiar with it, if people are on here who aren't, there really is a community of YouTubers, just individual creators who have true crime shows like Alex, and they're just doing it from home for the most part. And it seems like everyone kind of has gotten to know everybody. People appear on other people's shows, and it's, for the most part, a really positive thing, because there's only so much that law enforcement can do as far as, putting out information, reaching the general public, and even investigating. They're limited in their resources. And they've talked about, many of them, about like the citizen detective. You know, Jensen and Holes has their show where that's what it's about, is getting people to help them or help these cases that are like cold cases. So that is really fascinating that this kind of culture has developed. And I've been really impressed as I've started watching the individual channels about how in depth everybody goes, the knowledge of, you know, just the amount of research that people put into these things, is really incredible. It's a lot of time and a lot of investigating, and, you know, people get records, and, you know, they really go, you know, all out, as you do, Alex. You do a lot of research, and you know about a lot of different cases too, and they keep people updated. You know, there's been a lot going on in the past few weeks, even just kind of craziness in the world of crime, and some good stuff as far as like the arrest of Barry Morphew and the Susan Morphew situation, some stuff that's just very troubling. Some of the child cases that have happened recently, I don't know, just kind of a crazy.
My first TikTok was actually on Suzanne Morphew, because I was like really obsessed with that case. And I will, if I'm looking into a case, I will watch every video. I'll go in all the Facebook groups. I mean, I'll try Google searches, and it's so fun. I think if you really like it and you're interested and you just want to know more, then it doesn't even feel like work. But it does take a lot of time. And then once you go to answering comments and emails and, you know, networking with other creators, by the end of it, I mean, it's a lot of time.
Yeah. I could see that, absolutely. I mean, I'm the viewer. I'm not doing all the research, and you know, I can see how, you know, keeping up on all this stuff it's a lot. And if you really want to go in deep and really understand kind of the ins and outs of a situation, of a case, it can take a lot of time. There's a lot of digging that goes on. So you guys really do a lot of that for people, and it's wonderful. So, and I'm just curious, you know, what have you kind of felt as, you know, obviously you're an animal lover. You have a cat. I think you might have more than one cat. You have kittens too?
Some kittens.
Okay. So have you been, you know, what do you feel, or what do you think as you've been doing this, as you've seen animals come up in these situations?
Well, I'll tell you the one that, and I think I've mentioned this on my channel the other day, but the one that really just hurt my heart was Lori Vallow. She had an adopted son named JJ, and he was autistic, and he had a dog that was trained specifically for him to, you know, help him through his fits and you know, help him sleep at night. And they were very close, and it was a, I'm sure, I don't know about it, you do, but I'm told it was a huge process, even just getting them matched together and stuff. Right. And as she started to go down this road with Tad Daybell into all that craziness, and I'm guessing that she had decided what she was going to do already, because a few weeks before he went missing, she gave his guide dog back. She actually, I think she gave it back to the guy who they got it from. Now, I've heard certain things about possibly trying to sell it, or I don't know. I just know that he got the dog back, and he was kind of like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Because it was traumatizing for the dog too. But I do think that the dog is doing well now. It's been a while since I've looked, you know, I'm kind of fuzzy on the details, so I just think it's so heartbreaking. I just felt like, oh my gosh, and also JJ, imagine what he went through those weeks that he was alive without that dog. You know, he was so used to having him there, and he wasn't getting any love and support from parents, or, you know, even his sister was gone before him a few weeks, so he was just completely alone and dealing with it all by himself, an autistic 7-year-old boy.
Oh my gosh, that is heartbreaking. Oh my gosh, I hadn't been tracking that case as much. I learned a little bit about it a few weeks ago. Something about it, I was like, Oh, brother, if I could just tell by all the like teasers I would see, if I go into this one, I'm like I'm gonna be down a rabbit hole. But then I did watch something a few weeks ago, and geez, but that's just awful. The poor kid. I mean, I'm sure that was just his right arm at that point, and how he interacted. He must have been just, oh, brother. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just terrible. And a lot of times people will talk about it. When I was on Alex's show last week, we did a panel that was really great, and I do have Alex's show in the description too. I wonder if I can throw that up here. Will it? Or could Jennifer do that? That's exciting for me. I've never had anybody who could maybe do that. I don't know if that's just possible to put up her thing, Jennifer, Alex's thing. We'll
Pretty
see.
please.
Yeah, if I don't see it, I'll probably figure it out. But I do have it in the description though. Description, you can find her YouTube there too. But we had she did a panel last week talking about some of the issues with social media, the trolls, the things that the issues that they cause in people, mental health issues. We kind of went in a few different directions there too, but I had a point where I was going with that. I don't know what it was. It'll come to me.
I do that all the time. I do it all the time.
Gosh. There was something. It'll come to me. There it goes. It looks like she was able to get it up there. She typed it in. Oh, it's in the chat. Okay. So, yeah, you can find Alex's link there in the chat. So, but in any case, if you want to go back and watch that, it's pretty interesting. Some of the stuff that we ended up talking about. But I know what it was. People were asking me if I could potentially talk to like a Dieter from the Chris Watts case. And if you don't know who Dieter is this little guy that they had, and Chris Watts is the person in Colorado who he's in prison for having said that he killed his wife and 2 children. There's a ton of discussion about that. He definitely belongs in prison. He, at the very least, was involved and complicit, but there could be other things going on there with other people, and a lot of us believe that that's the case. So, but Dieter, the little dog, seems to have been home when some of this went down, and you see in the footage the police are in the home, and they're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. They're like walking all over the house. There's the whatever those two ways or whatever they call them now, walkie talkies. I don't know if we still call them that, but there's so much noise. These like people are in their black outfits with big boots, and it's a lot, and so disruptive, and not what this dog is used to. And Dieter's running around just like barking, and everyone says like, oh, he's trying to tell them what he saw, and people ask me, can you ask him? Did we freeze? You seem to be
Commented.
you seem to be okay. I don't think anyone said that either. So yeah, I think we're good. So people want to know, like, could you find out from Dieter what happened? So here's the deal. As much as I really would love to, there is a code of ethics for animal communication. It was developed by someone called Penelope Smith. She is really the person who brought animal communication to the media, the forefront, many years ago. She was like one of the first to kind of come out and talk about it. One of the first. And I actually had the opportunity to mentor under her for her to learn how to teach one of her classes a few years back. So she's really just well versed, and she wrote the code of ethics for animal communicators, and we abide by that. In the code of ethics, one of the things in the code of ethics is that we respect the fact that that animals have their people, just like children have their parents. Well, not just like we don't even use the word owners. Usually we say caretakers or family member or that kind of thing. But the point being that they aren't ours to just kind of go and talk to at random whenever we feel like it and ask them questions. So especially a dog like Dieter, who now is with a family member. And I have, many of us have seen the video that Shanann Watts, who was a victim of this crime, she was murdered by Chris Watts, or, someone in that situation, whatever happened for real. But her brother has Dieter. He put out a video. Dieter looks very comfortable and happy, and that was the vibe I picked up. I will say that it just kind of, sometimes I'll just pick up a vibe, so to speak, which is different than me going in and like asking an animal specific questions.
I was ask about that. Can you help it? Like, even though you can't go ask questions, is there moments when you can just know exactly what they're thinking and without it, like, it just,
like just comes at me, sort of?
Yeah.
It can happen like that, but I find that most of the time when something like that happens, it's because I've like slowed down in that moment. Like maybe I'm on a walk and I just did a communication and I'm kind of in that. I always meditate before I do animal communication. I get in sort of a just a more like grounded space, as opposed to how a lot of us are just sort of like this or that and listening to true crime and stuff. So if I'm in that state and I were to go outside, I might just pick up, like, you're more open, so to speak. And although we all should sort of protect ourselves when we open ourselves up like that and communicate with an animal, we should do like a shutdown almost, or self-protection afterwards, energetically speaking.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm just more open and I will pick up some things. But I don't tend to get a lot as far as like they're real deep, really deep into their feelings or their thoughts or that kind of thing. It might be more like just their personality or something they're wanting to do in that moment that isn't what they're doing. And when it comes to things like a Dieter and watching a video, then sometimes I'll pick up something about their energy for the most part. It just happened when I was actually listening to some case. I just literally was doing. Oh, I know what it was. It was the Brian James Chadwell, or I think he just more goes by James Chadwell, but he was the one in I think Lafayette, Indiana, who abducted a little girl, a 9-year-old girl, a few weeks back and brought her into his basement. And thank God the police were going door to door, and he told the police that he had seen the girl. She was there, but she left. And the police, thank God, went back, because he probably would have killed her excuse me, if he had any more time with her when she was in the basement, chained up. And she was bit by his pit bull. And when they arrest someone like that and take him away, you have to think, well, what happens to this animal, this poor animal, who, from what I understand, trained this dog to like chase cats, or to try to get him to be more prey driven. And who knows what happened in that situation. Did he like do something to get the dog riled up and the dog bit the girl? Did he, who knows? But at the end of the day, more than likely, unless there was some family member and they allowed the dog to go with the family member, but once a dog bites somebody, a lot of time they end up held. And the sad thing is that this poor dog is just an innocent another victim of this person and the evil that they've perpetuated. And
What
mhm.
what would happen to him? Like when he was arrested, do they just take him to the pound, or what do they do? I wonder. You know?
Potentially, I don't know if because it was a criminal case that they keep the animal alive longer,
Mm.
almost like evidence or something, with the bite, and I don't know. But hi baked cake. Looks like hello. I
Hi,
think she knows you. She
Nicole.
says, "Hey, Allie."
Hi, I can't see the chat though, but hi guys. Thank you for coming over to Ann's channel.
Yes, thank you so much. Everybody that came over from Allie, I really appreciate it, and anyone that's here, I really appreciate you being here. Um, yeah, but ultimately the thing is they really might end up putting an animal like that down, because once an animal's bitten somebody, that could be a real issue.
Yeah.
And that was one that just I was like so upset. Already you have this horrible situation and this poor girl that's now traumatized. But a lot of times people forget about the animals and how these animals are victimized in these situations. But I will say that dog, when I thought about the dog a little while ago, I was thinking about this and what we were going to be talking about and how kind of just sad it is and upsetting. But I thought about that dog, and it just flashed to me this dog saying, like, I was just doing what he wanted me to do. Like, I was a good boy. I was doing what he wanted. Like, I was just, like, it's not something that comes from the dog. It's not something that the dog, it's not
Basically
his
like a
nature.
weapon. He was used to do it, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so. Mm.
Yeah. And pit bulls already have been given a terrible name that they don't deserve.
Yeah.
And then someone like that does that. And I almost thought about trying to find out. I was like, I don't even know if I want to go find out if I can make calls and try to see what happened to the dog. I don't know, but it's sad. And like you mentioned with the other case, there's so many victims that leave behind animals that they're killed, and they end up with, you got an animal now that doesn't have a person. And it's just it's just awful, because there's sort of these like unspoken about victims a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
just wanted to kind of talk about it and see what if people had any thoughts about that, or Alex, or just anything that stood out to you, that, and if anybody in there has cases that they've seen that they wanted to talk about. Because I think it's, part of some of this is that there is kind of like a mental health thing with being interested in true crime, that we do need to kind of be aware of, that we're, taking in all this like negative, dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're an animal lover, it can really get to you. Like, I was thinking, one back in the day, I used to go on trails all the time with my dogs, like my dog Meesha that I had before, and my dog Cheyenne now, and I have a big German Shepherd now, who for the most part you would think, well, you have nothing to be worried about. You've got this German Shepherd to protect you. But, no, like, I started thinking, well, they could just shoot the dog. Like, that's,
Yeah.
these thoughts get, you know, and
Well,
I
I
didn't
think
used to
it's
think
good.
that way, but
It keeps you on your toes, you know, and aware and safe and looking around you. But you know what my first thought is, like when thinking about that, is if there's a need for something, then there's a, like, if there's a need for something, there's an idea of something you could do. Like, say, there's a need for, you know, for animals that are victims of crimes that are going to end up being put down, then you could start
right.
some kind of, like, I don't know, organization or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my first thought talking about all this, is like, it's
Mm-hmm.
so pitiful and it's heartbreaking. It's hard to just step back and not think, well, how can I help? What can
Right.
I do to fix it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's absolutely a great thing. I was thinking about that today because I did like a Google search. Is there anything like that? And I don't know if I probably didn't spend enough time looking into it, but what I was coming across was, and this is a great thing, but more like shelters for women that have been abused, they're allowed to take the animal with them, which is so
Oh, that's cool.
fantastic. Yeah, because that used to keep women from leaving, and if they did leave, God knows what was going to happen to the animal. So that was wonderful to see. And then, of course, also we do have like prison programs where prisoners are rehabilitating dogs that may, but I don't know the extent of the rehabilitation. I don't know if they're just dogs that were in shelters that kind of need to be taught basic manners, or if they're actually, the extent of that. But I think
Yeah.
that is a really good idea and something to talk about, like to start a dialogue about, and who knows what can come out of it. And I see, so Baked Cake was just saying, I'm sorry, I'm so fascinated with animal communication. I'm always watching YouTube to learn about this. It's so easy to communicate with my fur baby, but with those who I don't know, it's hard to feel the connection. Yeah, and I think that's true. Like if you haven't necessarily like grown that muscle, I don't mean to jump topics, but just to answer that question, if you haven't studied it necessarily, if it's not a practice thing, then I could see how that would be. Like you're connected to your own animal, but knowing how to do that intentionally.
Oh, you're breaking up on me a little bit. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I wonder if it's my.
It was breaking up. Now I can. Now I'm hearing you okay, but what you said just now, I totally missed because it cut out a
Oh,
little bit.
okay. Yeah, I was just responding to what Baked Cake said about feeling like she doesn't necessarily think she's is clear when she's trying to communicate with an animal that isn't her own. Like she feels so connected with hers. And it's interesting. A lot of people come to my classes saying, well, they almost feel like it's harder to connect with their own pets.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting? And I think that's sometimes true as far as like clear animal communication, in the sense of like the traditional oh no, I need to leave him in. Yeah. Okay. She was just saying something else. I can relate to my love for my cat keeping me in a situation, yeah, because of stress about not wanting to leave him. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. But I think sometimes I can relate to what people are talking about even now. If something's going on with my pet, that's more serious, like a serious health issue or just a high stress situation, I think sometimes you can be blocked because it's like the same concept of uh, a therapist shouldn't be a therapist for the family member, or a doctor shouldn't be a doctor for a family member, because you can you're like too close
yeah.
to the painting, as they say, to see it clearly. Yeah, so I've even had like a friend, animal communicator, connect with my pets in really difficult times, like when my cat this not too long ago was very sick, and we ended up having to send her out of her physical body, transition. I did have a friend, a colleague who I trust, connect in. I just sort of wanted to make sure that I was getting everything clearly. But for more like day-to-day stuff, I can see what you're talking about, because we just feel connected to our pets and we kind of know them, and so I can see how that's easier. So sometimes it's just a matter of like learning the tools to go to learn how to communicate with other animals. So that's something that when I teach, I give people like clear tools to use in that situation. So,
Well, Coco, my cat, which by the way, her name is Coco because she's like white on the inside and brown, like more brown and tan. And my 12-year-old named her Coconut and Coco for short.
oh,
So
okay. Is Coco with you right there?
she is right here outside this door. Should I get her?
Yeah, let's bring her in. I'm sure everyone would like to see her.
Her face is still right here and hasn't ran off. She's been a little bit lazy. Hold on a minute. I'm still connected to you by the headphones, so I can hear you, but you know, it's not right here. She'll come back. I have a kitten, though, and you have her picture, but...
yeah, if Coco doesn't stick around, yeah, we can put the picture up. But she's a beautiful cat.
Thank you. And then this is one of the kitties.
Aww.
The one, is this the one that was in the other day?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was the one you oh, my goodness. Look at those eyes.
He is rotten. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, the other one's a girl, and she's really sweet, but he will hiss, and he's mean.
Oh,
he has a personality.
Oh.
But, yeah.
So this is a baby of Coco's, that one.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, here's the little girl. Come here. She's so pretty, too. Oh, my goodness. Hold on.
Yeah, so I agree with Anna. It's completely different, Bake Cake is saying, with our day-to-day connection than knowing if he's happy or has anxiety or depression or needs something, yeah, going a little deeper, yeah. Oh, okay. So this is one of the babies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Beautiful. Oh.
Pretty little.
This
her
is
little
like,
eyes match that fur
yeah.
that's brown and blue.
Their eyes are just amazing. This is so much fun. It's like kitten hour. This is like, just look at kittens. Like,
Really
who doesn't
sweet.
like that? Oh my gosh, look at the little paws.
I know. I'll hold her for a second.
Jennifer, I love him. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Okay, she's like, what is this light? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she is stunning. Oh, which have you named all of them?
No, because I'm not going to keep these. I'll probably, as much as I want to, I really want to, but I probably won't. I'm going to put her back outside the store.
Okay.
If Coco comes though, I will grab her. I can't believe she ran off right when it was supposed to be her big break.
Oh, it's like children and animals, you know, you can't control what they're going to do on camera. That's why some actors won't work with children. From what I will bring up Coco. I think I can, excuse me. I will put her up on the screen.
Do you see this little bruise on my forehead?
Yeah.
Sleepwalking. And I have
Oh
no
my
idea.
gosh.
I'm a sleepwalker. That's a fun fact. And it's not all the time, but if I'm really tired.
Oh,
and I slept
wow.
like 2 hours one night. And after the next day, that next night, I was so exhausted. And I woke up just how I went to sleep. So,
Oh my
I don't know,
gosh.
but my parents used to find me like in the kitchen, like eating stuff out of the fridge and like all kinds of crazy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hear these stories about people doing like going on walks and stuff like that. Like it can get kind of dangerous. My goodness. So you don't know what happened. And that's incredible. You don't even feel it to wake up like you.
Oh, and at first I thought like I woke up and I was like, did I eat like something like chocolate? And I was like scratching it, and I went and got like a eyebrow spoolie and was trying to like, and now it's so sore because it was
Jeez.
not coming off, and I kept trying.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Wow. It's crazy that something like that could happen that like physically and not have it wake you up. Oh my gosh. Wow. You need one of those bells. Like I used to work with kids and yeah, the bell, like they'd have a bell on their door or something like that would go off when
like it screamed and you accidentally walked into it.
Yeah. Oh, did it come up? Okay, so there's Coco. So this is Mama Kitty. Wish I could cut me out of there. I tried to pull one up that wasn't me. It was just the one with you and her because then it wouldn't be. Where did it go? There we go. Let me bring this guy in. Okay, yeah, that's better. So I I don't know anything about Coco except that she just had kittens, which is good because I like to do this clean, like not knowing anything. Alrighty. Oh, she's so pretty. Is she a purebred?
I have no idea. I actually got her from a family member who owned her mom, and her mom had kittens, and she was in there, and yeah, that's it.
Wow. Yeah, she looks like a purebred Siamese or Burmese.
I know, yeah,
maybe
a
not
lot of
Burmese.
people say that.
Yeah.
But her mom was a solid white cat with one blue eye and one green eye.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So maybe
So
the
she's not
father
full
was.
blood. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the father was. Okay. So yeah. So I'm going to just kind of ask any questions that you have or let her know anything you want to let her know. And then oh yeah, people were asking, I couldn't see the chat. Is Allie okay? She needs one of those bells. Yeah. Yeah, right. She looks purebred, but okay. So what kind of stuff what did you want to talk to her about? And try not to tell me too much. Just kind of let me know your questions, and if it's resonating. Oh, what happened? Did I freeze?
No, it's a hard question. I gotta think about it.
Oh, okay. And if you want, well, what I'll do first is sometimes I like to just kind of warm them up and warm up my connection up by just sort of feeling them out and kind of saying what I'm getting from them first. And then while I'm doing that, it might kind of spark you to what you want to do from there. So,
I'm nervous.
Okay.
Hope she still loves me like I love her. No, I'm kidding. I wish I could get my camera up a little bit higher, but the tripod.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
she's laughing. She thinks it's really funny that you have this question. She thinks it's funny that you would ask if she loves you. Because she does. She's saying she says you're her world. She says you're her mom. Yeah, that's how she sees you. Yeah. And you take such good care of her. She says you're so warm to her. Like I feel like she goes to you to feel, I just get warmth. Like she wants to be like right at your heart.
And right at where I'm at. She's usually like right somewhere by me.
Yeah, she does. She feels incredibly connected to you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She says the kittens are tiring.
I can tell. They get on her nerves.
Yeah, she says she's kind of getting to the point where she's like, all right, like the need to have them there. She's like, I can feel that she's doing that cat thing where they kind of start to let go a little bit, so that then they can go on to their next part of their kitty journey. Oh, I was just seeing something in the chat. Okay. She mentions going outside, and she's saying that she feels a really strong connection to the earth and to grass, but she says, I was really scared about something. Something really frightened me. it just, the way that it's coming to me is like really big, like in my like mind's eye. It almost looks like equipment or a large vehicle, something really loud. She says has scared me. She says I have a little bit of fear in me. Um, but she's, and I apologize to everyone for the silences. That's the only thing that isn't so great about doing this on camera, because there's like silences where I'm listening.
Okay.
So I forgot to tell people, if they're watching the replay, just like, you can just fast forward. You don't have to jump off. So she just says that I'm kind of a cat that just needs to be reassured. And I feel like that's the following you. Like she needs a lot of reassurance. But she says I feel like she had a major scare, but this is kind of her nature, is to be a little bit insecure. So let me know what that's just what she wanted to bring up. She's just kind of saying like that's
Okay.
something she wanted me to know about her, us to know about her. So
Well, I'll tell you something. I went out of town recently and I had someone who was coming to get her and the kittens and take them to her house. When they got here, they couldn't find her, and she always goes in and out. She's really good about, she doesn't even ever hardly leave out of sight. Like most times she's like somewhere, I have a huge yard and stuff. And when they couldn't find her, they came every day, brought food and stuff, and she was hidden somewhere. When I got back, she came back missing 2 kittens. And the other 2 kittens were terrified to death. They would not hardly let us touch them. Even she was scared. I could tell by the way she even looked at me, and like just her body language, like her intensity, like how tense she was and stuff. And I still have no absolute idea what happened to her.
oh my goodness, the poor baby. Let me see if she'll.
And that was pretty recent. And I can't believe that that's the first thing you picked up, that she felt scared. That is so bizarre.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, it's on her mind. She wants to explain it then. Like she wants you to know. That's why she brought it up. Um, it really scared her. Let me see if she'll elaborate. Though. I'm asking her if she wants to elaborate. If she wants to talk more about it first. This it just feels like I keep seeing this metal big, like I would say it's a car or a truck, or I don't know if you have anything bigger around you like anyone would have, like some kind of equipment, but um it 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 definitely got close to her and scared her. um I see like the scattering, like, and I feel like that's what happened with the kittens, like they scattered. um Yeah, that's all I'm getting as far as the visual and the feeling. 'Cause she can't necessarily explain it in total human
Right.
terms, but that's how it appeared to her, and the feeling of it was that real fear. Um, is there anything you want her to know, or anything you want to tell her, or any response to that? That
Yeah. Just tell her that I will never let that happen again. I'm not leaving like that. I will make sure that somebody has her before I leave, instead of just leaving as they're outside. And I'm so sorry. That's so hard. 'Cause
Yeah.
who knows what happened to the kittens? But ask. I'm curious if she's done like with kittens because I was gonna get her fixed like very soon. But
Okay.
could you be able to?
Yeah, she's in fact the feeling I get like done with it. Like she she's like, yeah, I'm done with that phase. Yeah.
It's so funny you say that because I mean she'll be like walking and they'll be like trying to get at her to get milk. They still want milk every now and then, and which they're doing pretty good on kitten food, but she'll be walking and they'll be at her and she'll just keep going, ignoring them like just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And you can just she's
Done.
like, oh.
Yeah. And I am gonna get to people's questions. I know that they're there, so I'll review them but what else do you want to tell her or know, or is there anything you want to tell her or know,
I don't know, like not right off.
it's
What are what's typical, like what's the typical things that you do like usually find out from animals like that? Like, do
um
you have any recommendations or whatever?
yeah, anything that you have kind of wondered about them, something I can just go in. Oh, go ahead.
How's she feeling right now? I'm curious if she's like feeling it. Like I'm worried that something worse is wrong because it's lasted like a while.
Okay, this is because you were thinking the food change was making her sick, but okay. Yeah, she shows me her lower abdomen a little bit swollen. And I'm just trying to get the energy of it. The energy of that part of the body, this like lower abdomen area, is a blocked energy. It feels sort of dense. Have you felt in that area at all, like her lower abdomen?
I can hardly touch it because she's still swollen in the from
Oh, okay.
breastfeeding. Yeah,
Right. Okay. Yeah. Um,
I wonder if that could be the swelling that you see, like because she is swollen still from the
okay.
stomach.
Yeah, it could be. Just asking her, what does she feel? What's her perception, or yeah, her perception of it? She says, I don't necessarily feel anything's really wrong. I'm not, I'm not getting from her a sense that she's off kilter or off balance, or like, it, like if you start to feel really sick, like maybe you'll get dizzy or wonky, maybe like, and you can imagine if something was really wrong, it would be worse than that. It would get like heightened. And I'm not getting that from her. She says, this does feel digestive. It feels like, and by the way, I just let everyone know I'm not diagnosing or treating. I'm not a vet. Always make sure animals are cared for by a veterinarian. I'm just telling people what Coco is describing, from her perspective. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I'm communicating with animals, I'm in a different sort of part of my brain, and words are not like, they don't come like normal. I don't think the same way, but like, so we say like dumb things. But it feels like she is having some digestive stuff. She's describing it like things aren't passing the way they should. And I'm almost wondering if it's feeling to me like she's connecting it to this, like, that she's still kind of doing a little bit of breastfeeding, like her body is not completely feeling like over that, and somehow it's like off. It almost feels like she's needing some kind of a nutrient or something that maybe is getting depleted. And I would make sure she's drinking enough water, because that it's starting to feel like she's not not drinking enough.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just putting extra
water.
bowls out or something. Yeah. I mean, watch her. If it goes on too much longer, you might want to have her seen, but or if it changes or gets more serious. But it definitely seems like she's needing to recuperate. So that's part of the feeling, like the kittens, like I'm kind of hoping that they stop. It feels like she soon needs to get past this and kind of get her body back to normal.
Yeah. The only other thing that I would be curious about is my 4-year-old, which now that she's like had kittens and stuff, she's a little bit more grumpy. But before that, they were best friends. I have like over 100 pictures of them sleeping cuddled up, and Bentley used to hold her in any way, do anything, and she really didn't mind. And now that she's like had her own kittens, she doesn't really do that much anymore. So I'd be curious what she
Okay.
thinks about that.
Yeah, she goes like, she says the word I get is like depleted. I feel like she might go back to that. But right now she feels like she can't really give anymore. Yeah. And not that was necessarily like her, like it was mutual, a mutual affection between the two of them, that they both kind of felt good, cuddling. But at the same time, it does feel like, there's something about like a kid energy, like they're more receiving than, when you think of like when they talk about filling people or taking away from people's energy, like it can go up or down. I get like more of the kid energy is more of a receiving energy. Because that's just like their mind state is they're taken care of, and they're more like they're needy. And so it feels like she associates that. It seems as though when the kittens are, when they've gone out, that she'll get back to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, I think so. She just needs to get everything like back to status quo, so to speak.
She's like one of the smartest animals I've ever seen. She's like a dog. I mean, she's in the room, I'll say, come here, she'll come right to me. If she does something, like say she jumps on something and I say, no, she'll jump down and look at me. Like she knows everything. If I mention like, yeah, I'm going to, something, like say I mentioned chicken in a sentence to someone else, like she knows. She just knows everything.
Yeah, she says, because they can hear when I'm communicating with them, they are picking up usually a lot of what their human is saying. So she's listening in on this. And she's laughing. Yeah, she's saying, this is what she says. She says, I am of a, and I feel like this has to do with the mothering thing too. I am kind of like a higher energy, a light energy. And I feel as though like her purpose is not to keep like breeding. She's got other stuff that she wants to do. And it does have to do with you. She's saying like her purpose which is not uncommon. A lot of animals have a purpose with their people. But hers would be, she wants to talk about. She keeps saying reading. Reading. Does that especially mean anything to you? Like, because she said it a few times, reading, reading. Is there any connection between that you have seen with her and you reading in particular, like her sitting with you? Or?
Well, the only thing I'm reading usually is my phone. So,
Okay.
But she does lay with me all the time. I mean, whether I'm reading or not, though. So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Okay, so let me see what she says about that. I'll ask her what. It is something you've thought about is going back to school for something to do with this stuff, like law or I don't know, something more like tangible. Is that me that's doing that? I don't know. There's like a beeping. Or maybe it's the
It's
chat.
one of my phone headphones are starting to die a little bit, but
Oh, okay.
I'll
No,
still go.
that's okay. I just wasn't sure.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I have actually. So I've been to school when I was younger, and I went to 2 colleges that were decent sized colleges and lived in the dorms and stuff, but I didn't do very well. I was partying and living crazy. After Bentley was born, I did actually enroll into a community college, but I only took 2 classes, like instead of 5 or 6, I only had 2. So it was only a couple hours a week. And then after that, I did 1 year, so 2 semesters. And then after that, COVID, like right around that time is when all that happened. And then I was going to go back, and I could only do online, which I could never do that. I've already taken online classes before, and it's really hard for me. I need to, like, be taught in person. And so, I don't know. It kind of depends what happens. I would like to. Not necessarily for law, but more like addiction, counseling, something like that.
I was actually just going to say there's like a psychology aspect to it, but there's something it wasn't quite, I didn't want to say criminal necessarily, and that makes sense that it would be not that people who are using are criminals. I don't mean that, but I think the connection of like it's not just it's a little bit more maybe people who are dealing like with on edge stuff, like on the edge, like dealing with stuff that is more connected to I mean, obviously if you have to go out and get stuff on the street, you're going to come into contact with a lot of different situations. So anyway, it seems like it's something more like that, so that makes sense. I think she's just saying like this is something that she sees being good for you. I feel like she's trying to pull stuff out of you, like she's saying that there's stuff for you to contribute to people that you haven't yet, like it's in you, there's more there, and she sees that about you, and she's trying to like, I feel her literally trying to like yank it out, like pull it out.
What is it? What does she want to
Yeah, I think that's it. It feels like, because I see you face to face with people, that's what she's showing me. There's something about you and your ability to connect with somebody that is special, and she wants you to, it's a gift, she wants you to use it. She's trying to like alert you to it, if it's not something that you're aware of really. She wants to make sure that you know it's there, because it is a gift.
It's weird because I don't think I ever thought that before, like about myself, until I started like I wanted to get on YouTube and just talk about crime, and then I started thinking like, it's so interesting to kind of pick the brains of the people who like to talk about this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
once I started doing that, like every person that I talked to just told me you are so easy to talk to, and it's like
Hmm.
even Kiara told me that. I mean,
Hmm.
we still have communicated some tension, and she's like, you just made me feel so comfortable, and I appreciate it. Dave told me that. Larry, Robbie. It's weird,
Hmm.
and I guess I didn't realize it that I had that
Mm.
gift, but I think that it comes from being at a place in your life where you're just like so low, you don't think that you can continue at all, and then like
Yeah.
getting past all of it and realizing kind of like what's important in life and what's not, and
Right.
also realizing that we all have bad moments. We can all change. You know, I know that we can change. So
Hmm.
I try to be like really fair and understanding to people. You know, so
Yeah,
patient.
it's I think what is people see the non-judgmental nature that you have. That's what people are really connecting with, because if you think someone's judging you, you're not going to be able to reveal things that maybe
Right.
you feel shame about. So if you don't feel judged, then you're going to feel open to do that more,
Yeah.
be able to be more vulnerable. And that's what it is that you're able to do that, and it is a gift. So what you've been through has turned into something that you can use to help other people. You've flipped it around into something very positive. So, which is
Cool.
amazing. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, you're using that, and it's great. And that's what animals do, man. They see things in us. And the funny thing is she's got this attitude that a lot of cats have, which is like, once they've told you stuff like this is her. She's like, now what are you going to do about it? Like, that kind of a,
Self love kind
yeah,
of.
like,
Get
so
off
now
your
I've
butt.
told you. Yeah. Yep. So she'll be holding you to that. It seems like she'll be like
Yeah.
pushing you. And they do stuff almost like they do some subconscious stuff too with us. Like they'll, push us in towards certain things, and we
So
don't
cool.
even sometimes realize it. So, um, anything else
Yeah.
about that, or anything else you wanted to ask her or let her know, or?
Um, No, I think that's just, I don't know, not right off the top of my head. But I would always be willing to like do it again with you because it's really fun. But I
Yeah.
didn't know that, like I wasn't prepared, I guess, in that way.
No, that's
I just
okay.
was gonna steal it all, and I wasn't gonna have to work for it.
Yeah, I didn't. I probably didn't prepare you enough, but I did want to make it a clean slate. So, um, yeah, absolutely. We can always check back in. And I'm just kind of looking at. Does anybody else have any questions for Coco? If that's okay, do you mind
Okay.
if people ask? Okay, because I'm just looking. Oh, Allie, are you gonna have Coco fixed once she's recovered? Oh, yeah, you said that you were thinking about doing that. Um, And yes, Allie is so talented and gifted with connecting with people. Yeah.
Who
Um,
said that?
that is baked cake.
Oh, thank you, Baked Cake, so much.
And Jennifer, oh yeah, hi Bobby Joe. I don't think we said hello to you. So yes, two two of my favorite topics in one. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. These are my two favorite topics. So the best is like watching true crime with your pet. That's like the ideal. um, does anybody have any questions for Coco? And you can also ask me any questions you have about animal communication. That's fine if you have any.
Thank you.
Um,
So can you do that with humans?
It's interesting because I find a lot that that's kind of what happens is that when I'm talking with animals that they're humans, kind of what just happened, like the human stuff comes in. I apologize, everyone. I've got like a little allergy. The human stuff just kind of comes into it, and so the animals is a lot of times telling me things at the same time. Sometimes I'm just intuiting stuff about the person. That's just kind of what's happening. And if I wanted to intentionally, I could. I do some private sort of mentoring with people. I do like that, that kind of thing where people are trying to figure stuff out, kind of figure out what with goals and stuff like that. So, because it's all kind of the same. It's the same muscle. Yeah, it's the same thing.
That's what I was thinking. But you're so wonderful. I love it. I think it's just so unique and amazing. Thank you for asking me to come on here. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's a pleasure. And also I will add, I think everybody who can do it, anybody that there's the aliens are coming. This is when something goes on with these lives. There's like can you hear the funny alien
I still
sounds?
have one 10%. It's beeping though.
Oh, it's losing energy. Is that what it is?
I don't know. It's losing. Yeah.
Losing energy. I wonder if you need there. Oh, there you go. Now you're good. Yeah, you just took it out. Okay.
Does it sound okay?
Yeah, you actually sound fine. I'm not getting interference.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I think everybody can do it. I think anybody that wants to can, especially if you love animals, I think everybody can do it. Usually people come into my classes and within a very short period of time, they're actually realizing that they've already done it. So it's just what it is that we grow up in a society, and maybe this is changing a little bit. I kind of get that maybe a little bit from what I'm getting about the youth, like this like new generation. Maybe they're being raised to be a little bit more like in tune with this stuff. Although I don't have a lot of contact with youth anymore. Like I used to work all the time with kids, but now I don't really. So it's just kind of what I glean from things online, or mostly. But I don't know. When I was growing up, it was not something that was appreciated or discussed or understood or honed.
Yeah.
But people do it.
It's like they want people to not know how powerful they are.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yep. And it's a learned thing to like discount what you have in you, what you're able to do. We learn that, and then we have to just unlearn it. We have to, kind of go back and unlearn it. So, and animals really taught me, for the most part, how to do that. I got in touch with that part of myself through the animals. And it was something I did all my life. I just didn't know it. And then, I think I mentioned in your panel, I got invited to a class, and the information was just like there. And I was like, I've done this all my life. And I just think everybody has it. If you love animals, you can do this. It's just a matter of we need to like slow down and be, intentional about it for the most part. But, that's kind of the only block a lot of times for people, is they just have to take the time to like sit and get in that grounded space, which is hard these days.
It's really hard. I can't.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I have a hard time sitting still in general. I'm wanting to, after a few minutes, I need to, and then I'm always wanting to, whatever I'm doing, instead of just having nothing on and listening to nothing so you can really, chill out, I'm always, listening to YouTube or, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and I fall into that too. I tend to be able to focus better on anything that takes, if I'm working, working on my business, that type of thing, like editing the videos, stuff like that. I need something playing. I have just that kind of brain, and that might be what you have too. It's like some people need that going on, that second thing, helps you concentrate. Yeah,
Do you watch it when you fall asleep or anything?
yeah. Sometimes I'll have a true crime thing on, almost to the point where we're going to sleep, and then I'll flip it into like maybe like a meditation or a sleep type of thing. Like I'll change it over into. So I'm like, I don't know that I want, like, as I'm sleeping, like some murder thing going on in the background. How good is that?
You'll dream.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what happened to your head. Like you were having it. Like it's like, and then they fell and hit their head.
Yeah.
But
I'm wondering if I didn't like open a cabinet or something or like stand up. I don't know. I really don't know, because I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I would have never known that it happened, because I was just like in the same place, still had my phone like right by me. And then I started thinking, like, what if I just hit myself with the phone
I was
and
just
didn't sleepwalk?
gonna say that, actually. I think that might have been what it was, because I was like, the phone, that's what, right before you said that, that's what came into my mind, was the phone. Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was, because I think I was holding it as I was going to sleep.
Yeah, and who knows, you might have like picked it up and dropped it on your head or so. I've done that awake. Sadly.
It kind of looks like it could be the phone too, if you see it's like
Yeah, like maybe where the like the two sides of it, like something in the plug is, or something was the blank spot there. Oh my gosh, jeez, be careful.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna go on YouTube like this.
No, it's a wound. It's but the other thing I was thinking about too was something I didn't bring up before, is the canines in these cases that are such a topic of conversation. Like I'm trying to find somebody, I think may have someone local, I'm not sure, but I am trying to find somebody to interview who does canine search and rescue or cadaver dog type of thing, because it's such a topic of conversation. Like, what is the dog doing? What are they, it looks like they're hitting on something, but then the person will just like move on, and everyone's like, wait, like they're like watching a sports event going crazy, like, like, what are you doing? Go back over there. Like that dumpster in the Watts case. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, okay, say a canine shows up to do like a search, like in the Watts case, and there's a animal there in the home that was there whenever the crime took place. Will the canine pick up on it from the other dog? Is that?
Oh, yeah. Like pick up maybe the communication, even like I'm doing with Coco, but like the dog to dog. Yeah. Because that is how animals do communicate with each other. Don't ask Jane from the Watts case, right? I know that's one, the woman that had the canine in the Watts house, she was saying, don't ask Jane then if you're going to interview someone, because everyone was really confused and frustrated with that. Yeah, that is I haven't really thought about that, and that's a very good question. I think to some extent, though, my gut is that those dogs are so focused on what they were trained to do. They're so well trained that they might not even be I don't know, they might not be distracted by that other dog telling him anything. And a lot of times they're not there with another dog. Like when those canines went in, Dieter wasn't there. I know,
that's what I was just thinking. I didn't think so, but what?
They must have taken him out by that point, because remember, it wasn't like the next day, right? It wasn't like immediately that
I think it was not the Monday, but the Tuesday that maybe they went, or maybe the next day.
Oh, the canines went like that quickly. Okay. So he left.
I actually don't know.
Oh, yeah, because Chris Watts was on the doing the sermon on the porch, and you could hear.
They were sad.
Yeah, I think that was the canines, right? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know where Dieter was at that point. But that is an interesting thing that they might be able to. They just might, but they also might be so fixated on. I know for sure
They
the
might,
police dogs would be.
they might tell you to remove any of your animals before they come through.
Yeah,
That seems like,
I would think so. Yeah, because they might distract them from what they're doing. I know your heart was breaking for little Dieter. Yeah. Oh, A for Advocate is here. She says she's so
hi,
late. She's sorry.
it's okay. I'm going
um,
on Dave's in a little bit, I believe.
oh, okay. Cool. Tonight?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. You're gonna be.
He's doing like a 17-hour marathon
Oh
and
my
bringing
gosh.
on, like, you could go on if you wanted. He's putting the link in the chat,
Oh,
and
okay.
I talked to him actually about it. So yeah, and having
Oh my
different people come
goodness.
on and just talking about. So I
Wow.
told him I would do it. I was shocked. Like, as soon as it started, there was a lot of people in chat and stuff. Like,
Oh,
I think
okay.
people might actually watch the entire 17 hours on and off.
She's.
I think it will.
Yeah. I was just looking at that. She said something about Dieter. Dave, not Dieter. Dave. He's. If people don't know, he's in Australia. So I guess he's like starting in the morning maybe and going tonight,
He
right?
just sent me the link. I just seen it go across the
Oh.
screen.
Oh,
He
okay.
messaged me the link, which I'm not in a rush. I told him after 8:30 sometimes. So
Okay, yeah, and we'll finish up soon. So, yeah, he's in Australia, so that's probably why he's doing. If people are wondering why a man would start a live overnight, it's
well,
his
you know
day.
what? He actually really, and Larry too, they both really liked you. You,
Aw,
we should do more of those
that
videos,
was
and you
so
should.
much fun.
It was fun. I
Yeah, the
loved it.
animals of true crime YouTube.
Combined.
Yeah, Dave had his dogs on the other night. He had one of them on. He held her up, the female one. So yeah, everyone should bring their dogs on. And cats. Um,
Amanda, A is for advocate. She has bunnies,
oh,
little bunnies.
okay. Yeah, we need the animals. They help us to just like de-stress, and we just have to be careful not to put our stuff on them and overwhelm them, but they help us to see something else besides the negative. And you know Dieter was at the Thayer's home. Okay, Dieter wasn't there. He was at the Thayer's home, she says. Baked Cake says.
Okay.
Sandy had asked the police to give Dieter to Nick and Amanda Thayer. They had him for a long time until Frankie Jr. was able to get him, and now he is with Shanann's brother Frankie and parents. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he felt to me like he was doing good, but he sure does probably have a lot to say. And I will say also an offer, if anybody has a situation where they have a victim in their family or a friend that they're trying to figure out what went on, I would do something like that at no cost. If they can reach out to me, that's no problem. Yes, need to read one of my bunnies. She keeps sneezing a lot. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm doing some of these like live chat things where I'm just randomly tuning into people's animals. So I'm sure I'll be doing another one soon. So,
Oh, that
um,
would be cool to see. That's really sweet of you. Let people come on and kind of find out what's going on with their.
yeah, I kind of just like was doing pre-recorded for a little while, like doing full ones and then uploading them, and then I really just have done maybe one or maybe two before this where I just did like a chat thing where I said like, okay, let's just have people like come on and ask. Yes, he was. Yeah. Oh, yes, he was a little girlfriend dog, Dieter. Yeah, he deserves a girlfriend dog. Oh, you have a Bombay. Those are beautiful. Baked Cake has a Bombay boy kitty cat. Yeah, they're beautiful. Um, and hi, Dizzy Chick. I didn't see you before. Thank you for being here. So does anybody have any questions or comments for me, for Allie, anything that we didn't talk about, or that they had questions about or comments about. Yeah, I just really feel like something, that just kind of gets lost is the pets in these situations, and all the victims that animals, that their person doesn't come home, or they watched them. Some of the no, the one in the West Coast, the Golden State Killer, was that the one that they shut the animal in the room? He had some way too of like getting past people's pets. Like they don't know exactly. Maybe now they know since he's been convicted. Maybe he admitted to some things. I don't know, but he would somehow get past people's pets. Like maybe he was warming up to them ahead of time or something, like in the backyard, things like that. So it's just hard to even see like that guy Chadwell with the pit bull in the pictures, like to think that the poor animal's like with this person, and
That's awful.
and my understanding from there are people who have sociopathy who are wonderful to their animals. There's a creator, Kanika, and I'm gonna say her last name wrong, Botram, I think. She loves her kitty cat, and she's a diagnosed sociopath, and she talks about what it's like to be a sociopath, and she's also has a narcissistic personality disorder diagnosis, and she talks about that, and she would never hurt her animal, and unfortunately, that diagnosis has been like just given this kind of like broad brush, like with all the movies that he's a psychopath, a sociopath, and that means automatically that they harm animals, and it doesn't. But oh, thank you, Billy J. He said gorgeous ladies. So it's sad though that they kind of get that, because they're not all like that. But it is upsetting to me when I see pictures of serial killers like the famous one, the one with the black hair in California
Richard
too.
Ramirez?
Yes, Richard Ramirez. He had a dog, and I guess my understanding of that is they don't relate to people very well, and animals are just so wonderfully non-judgmental that they just it's kind of incredible that that happens, but they're non-judgmental, and if the person is good to them, animals can be good back, and I guess.
How does a sociopath have feelings for their cat, or even
I think because it's a spectrum. That's as I've studied that more, it's a spectrum kind of a thing where you can have people at just way different ends of the spectrum, and they may not have, they may see it in some situations when it may be like a Richard Ramirez, where it's like they benefit somehow from the animal in some way, like maybe protection, or it makes them look tough, I have a feeling that was that James Chadwell was, posting his pit bulls and trying to look tough. That was part of his like image. And I think that it's like I get something from you, you get something from me. I feed you, you do this for me. And maybe they feel some kind of like warmth from the animal that they can't feel with a human, or they tend not to, and so they benefit from it. And then it's the ones who are that aren't so good, that don't take responsibility, that don't choose to do the right thing despite how they feel sometimes, that end up hurting animals, which is the really bad end of the spectrum. You don't want that, of course. That's awful. But yeah, that's kind of a thing with me. I've actually wanted to get someone on to talk about that, because I feel like it's almost like one of the last stigmas, like people with sociopathic and even narcissistic and even psychopaths, which is like a complicated thing because there's not like a psychopath diagnosis in the DSM, but that it's just ASPD now, antisocial personality disorder. So, but anyway, I wanted to have someone on because it's like one of these last stigmas where everyone thinks that they're horrible, bad people because of all these like these movies, and there's people out there like, I'm not, like I choose, I mean, yeah, like maybe I don't have the empathy, but I still choose to do the right thing. And then some of them do have a degree of empathy. It's just like on a spectrum. So it's such an interesting thing. Yeah. But it does make me cringe.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
My cousin passed away last night. Her and I were not very
Oh
close.
my
She was
gosh.
quite a bit older than me. She was my second cousin and my mom's first cousin. But her little brother is close to my age, and he is bringing his 2 little boys to spend the night, which
Oh.
I'm doing Dave's lab too, but I'm just
Right.
gonna make it work. And
We'll let you go get to doing what you need to do.
you don't have to do that. No, I mean, she's not leaving her house for 20 minutes, and I'll have a little bit of help, and so yeah, I'm not rushing off.
Okay.
I do need to go soon, but just whenever.
Yeah, you're gonna
No
need
rush.
some like coffee or something.
I
Cake says, and do your clients' fur babies telepath feelings, ideas to them as questions to ask you for them? Um, you know, it's usually not questions. It's usually more like, excuse me, preferences or opinions or perspectives on things. They don't really have a lot of questions. Sometimes they'll be like suspecting that or knowing that there's going to be like a shift, like maybe someone's getting a divorce or they're moving or something, and the animal isn't really clear. Then sometimes they will ask questions about that. And then A for Advocate says, I feel like I understand horses. I feel like I know how they feel or something. It's weird. Not weird, but interesting. Yeah, I mean, horses are big talkers. They have a lot to say. Yeah, a lot of, yes, CEOs, there's a high proportion of like heads of corporations that are have ASPD. Yeah. And we need those people. I mean, they're the people that will like run into a fire sometime, that they're the people that we need, those people in society. They say surgeons, or a lot of them can be.
They say that makes sense right there, surgeons. But they say that, I think, like, now it's different for some reason based on country, and I recently did search this, but I think narcissistic personality disorder affects around 1% of the population, but sociopaths are like 1 in 20, 1 in 25,
Yes.
some places 1 in 30. It's a lot more common than what you
Yes.
think.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely, because they're amongst us, and they sometimes do great things that nobody else wants to do. So we do need those people.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense, surgeons. Because think it would be hard to cut open somebody and their organs and all that stuff. But if you don't really have feelings, then you're the perfect guy for the job.
Yep. Yeah. I've kind of gotten to the point where I almost just think of it, they use the term neurotypical or non-neurotypical. All these like diagnoses. When I was a practicing therapist, I really didn't like giving people diagnosis, those labels. I didn't like diagnosing people because it's a man-made label, and it's ever changing. We give these people these labels, and it's just always changing. The DSM keeps getting updated, and if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. It's the quote-unquote Bible, like, that you turn to as a mental health provider. It's where all the diagnoses are, and you can figure out what to diagnose people with that. And it's good as far as like a, I guess like a, it gives you something to like get grounded in, or an anchor, and it helps providers talk to each other in a similar language and understand each other and what they're talking about, and helps you talk to people and help people understand them. But I'm just getting to the point where I'm like, all these things like, autism and ADD, ADHD, which is something I deal with. I'm like the distracted type, not the real hyper type, but all these things are like just different types of brains. They're just different brains, like.
I agree with you, and I think we have to stop being judgmental of other people. No one can actually help those kind of things. But what's interesting is anxiety, addiction, depression, bipolar, all of these things can be caused from like the same thing. Like, I know you know that, but I'm just saying it's weird that it can be caused from like serotonin or dopamine, all of these different things.
Yeah.
So if you have one, you could have the other, you could end up having the other later or whatever. You got to stop judging people, because we all are, we kind of all have similar issues in ways, you know?
It's so true. Like they, and they have like the personality disorders all divided up through the years, and it would be like women were getting disproportionately labeled with borderline personality disorder, which is sort of like the old school like crazy woman kind of thing. And now they're just starting to see that like narcissistic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder, the traits are like really overlapping, and ASPD and narcissism, and if you're labeled as a sociopath, you have to be a narcissist. If you're, so yeah, it's all just these traits, and it's like you could have a combination, exactly what you're saying, like a combination, and at one point in your life you might have more of that trait because something's going on hormonally or like environmentally. So yeah, exactly. It's the judgmental stuff that we gotta stop in our society. And I think, we're learning, and the animals have so much to teach us about that because they don't judge. They're so forgiving. And we just have a lot to learn from them. I have learned so much from them. So yeah. Bake cake. My cat doesn't like to go outside. I leave the door open. She's never left the backyard. Yeah, I'm sure she does want to be inside with you. And Bake Cake said, I'm wondering if it's okay to have an indoor cat. Sometimes I feel guilty. I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. There's like this whole thing about like don't let your cat outside and all this stuff, and a lot of animal communicators, we feel like it's about what that animal wants. Like they are individuals, and they have their own desires and their own feelings and their own wants and their own needs, just like humans. And you have cats that want to be outside. They don't want to be inside all the time. At the same time, sometimes we have to come to an agreement with our animals. I had a cat, my cat Tierna, that passed in February. She definitely wanted to be outdoors. And I ended up coming to a compromise with her. And between, we had to come to a compromise that she could be outside, but she had to be in this like crate that I had for smaller dogs. It wasn't like a huge crate, but it was a crate that she could stand up and move around. But she got to be out. She got to be in the fresh air, and she, I had to watch with the sun, so I'd have to put like an umbrella sometimes or a fan on her. And then sometimes I would walk her. She would stay near me. There's some cats that you can't do that, or you've got to put them on a leash. But I think if they want to live with you, if they've chosen to be with you, and I feel that animals come to us for a reason. So if an animal's with you, I think that it can be worked out. And it's just a matter of, just like any human relationship, like talking about it and compromising about it and just giving them a voice. That's what it is. And I think that's why so many like people that love animals like love true crime. Like you see that a lot. Like I'll see that in the chat. Like people will start talking about pets and be like, yeah, I have this, I have that, I have an animal. I think it's like, to me, people who want others who don't have a voice to have a voice. You know, I think that's what it comes down to, is that we're people that really want to be the voice for people who don't have a voice. And that's what animal communication is giving animals a voice. And that's what a lot of true crime is these channels. It's helping victims who aren't here anymore, who can't speak for themselves, or families that don't have the ability or desire or energy, and all this stuff has happened, to do a show themselves, and being a voice for them. So I think there's a relationship there. It's really interesting. Yeah, maybe you could work something out, Bake Cake, with Kitty, like just trying to do a leash situation or something, like having some outdoor time, like walking the kitty around, or I don't know if it's a male. Oh, he wants to be outside. Yeah, like supervised time. Try that maybe. Oh, I think we lost you. You have to go? we Thank you. She's on silent, but she's heading out. So we thank Allie for being here. We really appreciate her. Bye. And check out Allie's show. It's in the description and in the chat too. So she's great. Yeah, I'm going to do another stream. I might be doing one in a week. I think I'm at the point where I may be too tired to do any more communicating right now. I like to be in a good kind of clear, energized, and I think I'm getting a little too tired. So, but I will be doing another one. Make sure you subscribe, you know, so that you'll be notified of upcoming lives where I do that kind of thing. And, you know, I just appreciate everyone being here. If anybody wants to reach me, you can email me, and with an E, at intuitivetouchanimalcare.com. I also have a website, of course, intuitivetouchanimalcare.com, that you can go to and find out about animal communication and what I do. I teach, I do distance sessions, and acupressure and massage for animals. And I have children's songs on there as well. And hi, Lori. Oh, you're in the Colorado mountains. You can't let your cat out because of predators. Yeah, that's definitely, some do let them out, but then they go missing. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, that's really sad. You gotta be careful. Depends on the situation. So thank you so much to our moderator, Jennifer Green, too, for helping us out here. And yes, Allie's show is posted there in the chat. So thank you all. Please keep in touch by subscribing. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.